Look at all of those pawns near the black king. White square, white square, white square, white square. Okay, we'll even throw that one on just for good measure. What's a color weakness? Well, I think that's when you have a white dress, but don't own any white shoes. Am I right, girls? I don't know. Fun Master Mike doesn't wear dresses. Boys, a color weakness is when it's St. Patrick's Day and you forget to wear green and all your friends pinch you. No, that's not it either. A color weakness is when one of the colors of squares, either the light or the dark squares, are seriously undefended. That often means that you're missing that color bishop. It also means your pawns are on the other color. You combine those two elements and you've got big problems. Take a look at our chess position here. If it's black's turn, black seems to have the very dangerous pin bishop to b4. But it turns out this is not so scary for white because he kept one pawn on the dark squares. Even though he's missing his dark squared bishop, he can just play the move pawn to c3. He will live to fight another day. But let's back up. Let's suppose I change the starting position just a little bit. All I'm going to do is put this b2 pawn on the square b3. We're going to make it black's move again. Take a look at the chessboard. Almost all of white's pawns are on light squares. That means they're not guarding the dark squares. Where is white's dark squared bishop? I don't know. Somebody said sayonara to it before this video began. When you combine missing one color bishop and having all your pawns on the other color, that's when you've got a dark squared weakness. Here, white's dark squares are so weak, they're actually fatal, and white is going to lose his queen, because now if you play c3, the bishop will simply take. Let's look at some more complicated examples. In this position, look at all of those pawns near the black king. White square, white square, white square, white square. Okay, we'll even throw that one on just for good measure. That means his dark squares are weak. Black might be able to survive if he can clear out this knight and this rook and bring his bishop all the way back to f8 to defend. It's a long process, but it might just keep him in the game. A really bad move for black would be to trade off that bishop, because as we just saw, you don't want to be missing one bishop and have a weakness on that same color. In fact, here, I don't even think black can survive. White is going to put his bishop on f6, his queen on h6, and play the standard queen and helper mate. And even if black sees what's coming and moves his queen, when white gears up for the attack, black can hope to defend with a move like knight f5 to guard that square, but white will just put up the no parking sign, pawn to g4. He's not actually weakening his own king. The knight has to run away, better go back to g7. Then the queen invades. Queen takes knight would be mate. There's only one safe square for that knight. He's got to go to the square e8. You know what white can do now? White can actually invade on another dark square, and it is finally time for black to offer his hand in resignation. Queen takes h7 is going to be mate. I'd like to point out, look at all of the invasion squares for white. That's right, white invaded on all the dark squares. On to our next position. This is going to be called probing. Now what's probing? Probing is not touching your little brother at the dinner table until you can get a reaction from him. That's a different kind of probing. Probing in chess is when you make an attack that you fully expect to be defended, but when your opponent defends it, he or she will create a new weakness. So in this position, even though white's down a few points, he's got some really strong bishops, and he can play the move queen to e4. Now we fully expect black will see this battery, and he will defend. I don't like the move f5 because we have Mr. En Passant waiting. That wouldn't do black much good. So instead, if black plays the move g6 to shut down that battery, look what we've done. We have forced all of black's pawns onto light squares. Black is missing his dark squared bishop. We've been seeing this all day. Then all we do is move our queen onto the dark squared diagonal to give mate. But you know what? If you're this far into our king levels, you know to be exact. Queen to d4 is not going to get the job done because black can actually defend. However, if we put our queen on the square e5, we stop that defense, and I don't think black is going to be able to hold out for much longer. We have several different checkmates coming up. One last example, chess kids. Not every color weakness is on a dark square, I think you know that, and not every color weakness involves a checkmate. In this position, this is a tough one. If you're thinking about what color weakness white can take advantage of, it doesn't seem like there's an obvious one. You might think of rerouting this knight to this square f5 would be a good idea, but you know what? Black's pawn could just move up one and kick your knight away. Instead, we're going to go for the queen side. The correct move here is, well, you know what? Why don't you challenge yourself, pause your videos, see if you can figure it out before I just give it away. If you're back, you may have found the move a6. That's right, we're going after the queen side. Now black could take you, and in fact, it might even be his best move. When we take back, we've at least given black an isolated pawn. We're going to put all our rooks and queens on the a file and try to win that pawn. Now if black tries to avoid that and puts his pawn on the square b6, we have now created some light square weaknesses and we're about to invade. Bishop to b5. Not much black can do, he better get his king out of the middle. Bishop to c6, the rook has to run away. Now you're probably spotting the juiciness of that stake on the square b5, but I don't want to lose my e4 pawn, so maybe a good plan is to put our queen up to guard the pawn. Again, not much black can do. Maybe he'll bring his knight around to try to get to the square c7, but he's one move too late. Knight to b5, and there's no way to stop our knight from capturing this pawn. Even if he plays knight c7, we'll capture the pawn, and the winning idea for white's really simple. Just move the knight away and play a7 and a8. Make yourself a new queen. That's right, it's a girl. So boys and girls, when your opponent has all of his or her pawns on one color and he's missing that color bishop, that is a good sign that you can go in for the kill on those color weaknesses.